Good evening. I'm Mark Wagner, and this is Evan Lebowitz. He's a club promoter here in Vegas, and tonight we're going to talk about some of the dynamics and economics behind Las Vegas nightlife. Why people go out, why some clubs are expensive, why some clubs have deals, and how the clubs manage to get people in and find their audience.
Yeah. It's a pretty complicated system that runs here in Las Vegas, but it's really about who you know. From a tourist perspective, social media is your best friend. Promoters that are looking to get people in. It's just give them a little win-win situation. I get paid for getting people in rooms, and you're saving money by not having to pay for entrance. I feel like it's interesting because a lot of people see street promoters like on the street, they feel like it's another person just peddling. They don't take the time to slow down and listen to what they have to say, what they're trying to sell. And really just trying to help people out. Like I said, win situation. But it is crazy how little tourists know about it, because some of these clubs are charging anywhere from $50 to $150 just for entrance. All this stuff says you could search up the club on Instagram that you're looking to attend. You'll find 10 promoters that have already worked for that club, and then you can text any one of them and let you know. A lot of people miss out on that, spreading their news.
A lot of people wonder why. They're assuming that demand is just limitless for the clubs. Why would the clubs ever let someone in for free, charging $50? They want the minimum number of people in the club. It's emptiness that's terrible. But what are the other reasons?
Clubs, depending on the level, the most fancy ones are going to be like they want girls in bars. So a lot of places will do guest lists where it's discounted entrance for males, but free entrance. A lot of the clubs, if they're not as busy, they're just going to be trying to fill people in general, because for the people that are going there to spend money, people that are buying tables, getting sections, you don't want to. They have to guarantee a good environment. The more girls at the club, the more guys are going to be buying drinks. That's sort of the reality here.
Guys don't buy drinks.
The more girls that are in the club, the more revenue that the club can make. And then just the more people in general, the more revenue the club's going to make. But it differs all the time. But on a general scheme, when you come to Vegas, if it's not a big event, if it's not an arena, if it's at a nightclub, there's going to be a way to get system. There's going to be a way to get in. If you want more things, if you want tables, if you want all this, those are going to be more expensive discussions. But if you're coming out to have a good time experience, the nightlife, you want to see what it's all about. So next to that, you don't have to go on every day, which I think most people imagine Vegas nightclubs. If you want to buy drinks at the club, if you want to get bottles, that's all going to be insanely expensive. But just going, attending, enjoying, having a fun night out is not in it. But I think nightlife in general is just a very interesting thing to see the different types of people that frequent it. There's people like myself that are out there to work, and it's a really cool thing where you can make a living going out, having a good time, partying, socializing. For me, it was a perfect thing for my personality. But there's another aspect to this nightlife of the attendees, the people that just want to go out, there's the people that don't really care about the music, they're just there to spend money. There's the people that are just there to get drunk. There's the tourists that just want the Vegas experience. There's such a wide spectrum of people attending these clubs.
Here we have a large amount of people who are just here from somewhere else. Then this is like crazy coming to Vegas. They've never been here before. They want to put their hands up and watch Tiesto do his thing.
And it's easy. I think most people don't understand. Vegas is a very pricey town if you want to spend the money, but it doesn't have to. But further than the money aspect of things, there's so much variety in the nightlife in Vegas. You know, whether you want EDM, whether you want hip hop, whatever it may be, there's always something for your taste. The beauty of Las Vegas is that there's so much variety. It's
There's I just found out about these Stoney's locations here for people who like country dance.
Yeah, and then like Jason Aldean's bars opened up on the strip. I'm doing some promotion with them. There's so many different options, endless amount in Las Vegas. But it also comes down to having somebody being able to tailor that experience for you. So that's another aspect of a promoter that, in my opinion, is very important. Is that the first time I came to this Vegas, I wasn't with any locals. I didn't know anybody out here, and I got the big experience. It was very expensive. It was cool to see the things that I wanted to see, but I didn't really have an idea of what I was doing. The thing that a promoter can really have planning a trip for you, we know the events that are going to be. We know the events that aren't going to be good. We know the events that are going to be busy on certain nights, and the events that are going to be busy on certain nights. So when you come here, you can just give me, or ideally, if you have a good promoter, just an idea. Oh, I want dance music. Oh, I want country music. I want a specific type of vibe, and we tailor everything around that. That's the main benefit of promoters. As a tourist, you don't really know what to do, and the promoter is pretty much your personal assistant for everything else.
I met at the foundation, Ari Salve, I think, or I'd say you think. Ari VIP and on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
He's a VIP host. we hit it off talking partying. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, "I'm fit." What is that? Something.
As a promoter, VIP hosting is my end goal. Every club has hosts. You have promoters, hosts, and then VIP hosts. A promoter, as my job, is going to be mainly getting people into the club, but also I can facilitate bottle sales. And let's say I have a group that does want to get a table. The hosts at a specific club, so let's use Zoot, for example. If I have a group that wants to go to Zoot, they want to get a bottle. They're talking with me. I'm going to need to facilitate the hosts getting that bottle, getting the host is, but they're associated with the specific club, the specific. The host is like one step above promoters. They're not necessarily getting people in the club, but when the high dollar members come into the club, they're taking care of. That's the main duties of a host. But a VIP host would be essentially the same thing, but they're not contracted to a specific club. Let's say you have a group that comes out and they say they want to go to 4 different clubs. They want bottle service at each club. It's going to be very expensive, but this is the time it's fine. A VIP host would be pretty much facilitating all of their needs club to club without being contracted to a specific one. Like we're saying, most hosts are going to have a specific club that they do all their work for. The gentleman that you met already, she's going to be a VIP host. So wherever they want to go, she's able to facilitate. So in order to get to really all of this is just networking, the different levels of it. Obviously, having a host position at an actual casino is going to be, it's like an employed hourly job. As a VIP host, you're more of an independent contractor. You're not loyal to any specific company, but it's all about who you know and the groups that you can bring in. The only way that you can get hired as a host is if you're able to bring in, for example, a lot of times out here as a host, if you're at a high-end club, you're expected to bring like $30,000 to $50,000 in sales per week. And so, you know, once you're a host and you facilitate $30,000 to $50,000 a weekend, you need more people, you start having more groups that come to Vegas regularly. You have a clientele base.
Sounds here. And they must be really connected because they meet one celebrity, then they meet the other celebrity, so they know all this.
So that's what a VIP host is going to be: taking care of the groups, beginning to end. And it's not necessarily nightclub related. If you need strip clubs, massage parlors, nightclubs, anything regarding nightlife, they can facilitate. So it's really just you need a guy that is going to be able to handle everything at a high level.
When you're a big baller and you come to Vegas, you don't actually have to plan. Everything's just taken care of. You just say, I want to do this, and I want somewhere that feels like this. And here's who I'm hoping to meet. So they just plan it out.
Yeah, and you can do that with any. I don't want to make it seem like you only can do that if you're looking to spend a lot of money. You can, like myself, I'll take any level of people that they come to Vegas and say, I don't want to spend any money at all. I'm happy to facilitate that. So no matter what your budget is, it is smart to reach out to a promoter to give you recommendations, ideas. People say, I want to save money. I know the cheap bars. I know the places where you're going to get free drinks, but it's going to be open bar and all these little tricks that can help save money. Or if money's not in the conversation, I can help with that too.
Don't feel bad calling up this because it's not like calling your friend and asking, hey, can you get me into this and that? This is their job to get you into these things.
That's the
they
crazy
want
thing.
to get you in.
I get your expensive things. Like I went out of my way to just, and I did. It's my job. But at the end of the day, people don't realize that's what it is. It's my job. I make a living doing it. It's not taking anything away. It's helping me.
I'm gonna call the manager of Omnia. He's gonna get me in. His job's to manage the club.
People get frustrated with that system. People they don't want to be bothered by guest system. They don't want to be bothered by people just trying to get in. They're focused on facilitating sales. They're focused on the higher end. Really, any promoter in Las Vegas, and there are conglomerates, right? Tao Group is a management company that runs Omnia, Honda's Tao Day Club, Tao Night Club, Jewel, a handful of others. A lot of the main clubs on the strip are all ran by Tao Group. If you find a Tao promoter, they're going to be able to get you into every single club that's under Tao management, and everything. Promoters probably know somebody else they can refer you to, and they can take care of you there. So there's really no long way to go, and it's so easy. Literally just Google Las Vegas promoter, not Google, but Instagram, whatever it is, whatever social media you use. Look up Las Vegas promoter or the name of the club that you want to go to, and like that.
But check it out, the No Cover Nightclubs. So I'm guessing that is just a promoter who got savvy
100%.
to run it through his.
I work with the promoter who runs one of the bar draw agencies. So you pay them like $100, and they'll take you to the club. They do transportation. They come out everything.
Each one, they get the commission on each club. That's genius, yeah.
There's a bunch of different ways you can do it.
Let's talk about the school bus at 40 suits.
And you really can do that. And that's something that appealing is for promoting. It's one of the jobs where however much money I make is dependent on how hard I work. I'm working for myself. There are plenty of promoting jobs if you want to go promote for town. They're going to be actually with companies and stuff like that. But it's a great opportunity to just work for myself, not be under somebody else and having to listen to orders, for me, that was a huge thing with working age. For myself, promotion was the perfect opportunity to do that and have fun. But some of the balance comes with that. When I'm out partying 4 or 5 days a week, I had to recover physically, emotionally. It can be draining, but it's I gotta stay grateful for the fact that I was able to turn something that I enjoy doing into a living. So, yeah, it's
do that. And your job is to be a friend to people who want to go out.
yeah, and I've always had an outgoing personality. I love networking. I'm able to form big connections in aspects of business I never even considered. That's something cool about Vegas. Is the variety of people out here. It's complex, and I meet people from different industries.
Vegas in the past was still on purpose, and now it's a real city. People that live and work in the city that have nothing to do with the game. But so that's cool to see it turn into more of an established place, but just a gaming town.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge misconception about Vegas. Before meeting locals, before experiencing Vegas, that's the town it really is. I always thought it was just a strip. Casinos, bars, clubs, games, all this fun stuff. That's what you see in Las Vegas. Flashy, nightlife, fun, let all your darkest desires out of town. Then I moved here and realized that there's so many beautiful suburbs and so many, like you're saying, working class people that just live normal lives here. And the expansion here is incredible right now. It's growing at such a fast rate.
Toronto used to, I found out this out this week. Toronto, not too many decades ago, was bigger than Vegas by population. I want to say it's 1950, 60.
What? Yeah, that's crazy.
So those people must not have left.
No,
So that
yeah,
place
they're
is still
all there.
the same,
Yeah.
but Vegas has.
There's so much more to this town. And then even adding to that, for tourists, there is wide suburbs for people that live here. But the arts district, most people do not know about it. Think of the Vegas, it's just a strip. There's all these nice little bars, and these nice little museums, and these nice art shows downtown. People have no idea about it. There's Fremont Street, which most people have an idea of, but there's so much variety on Fremont Street. All the different bars, all the ones. And so there's a lot more to experience here than just gambling, partying, chilling. It's quickly turning into a town that has a lot more to offer. Universal's coming here now. It's announced doing their site and everything. And so there's a lot of fun things coming into Vegas right now. There's a lot of fun things that have been around that people just didn't know. Podcasts like this, general doing your research before you come here is the best way to go.
There's nothing to do in Las Vegas in this experience. There's a few local Vegas people, a few new to Vegas visitors.
No matter what you're into, there's always something that you're going to be into. Las Vegas. It doesn't have to be catered to. So,
Back to the nightlife scene, a lot of people think that going clubbing is about music. But people, that's true. But I think as a music lover and someone who goes to music festivals to see good artists, I think they do a better job. Clubs have more variety. They're playing big room kind of stands out. Garrett, Vincent. And that's because I don't think that going to clubs is really about the music. I think it's more about status and its own social world. People go there and it has its own structure. On Fridays and Saturdays, so-and-so is like the king. But Monday through Thursday, that guy's just a regular dude. But the club, he's a known guy. Especially people that are buying a table. Now you're paying real estate for the night. But there's other reasons too. Some people genuinely love the music and get hyped.
it's a small percentage genuinely there because of a love for music, but it does exist. I do see it commonly. The majority of people, especially tourists that are going to the club, it is an experience thing. And if you have the money to be buying sections or tables, like you're saying, it's a status thing.
That's something that we can't really very easily buy or you can simulate it. I guess prehistorically you couldn't buy stuff. It was literal power. How
Yeah.
many soldiers you had. Now you can like status.
Yeah,
things,
if you
but-
show up to the club and you skip the line and you're sitting on stage right next to the DJs, the club will provide girls to hang out with you. If you're willing to spend the money, you are put on a pedestal as a patron. If you have that table that's on the stage, then you're going to get security escorts to the mat. Things like that. And so, if for a tourist, it is a status thing. That's the reality. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
The conversion of money to status, and people have money that people want to feel they have power. Unless you're high ranking in the military or live in a dictatorship, you probably can easily become wealthy here, but you're still just that's how America works. At the club, they're usually using that power in a dating market way to get women.
If you come to Vegas and you get a table and you're looking to get women, it's the easiest way. If you're at a club, you have a section, you have free drinks. Any that's walking through the club, you'd be like, hey, you want to come over, get a drink? You want to come hang out in our section? 9 out of 10 of those are going to choose. If you are coming here for that reason, that's a super easy way to achieve it. And then
It's just not the cheapest way.
very expensive. But yeah, there is a status that comes with buying bodies, buying tables.
I think Nye County has something more.
And I wouldn't call it hidden agendas, but there's motivators why these businessmen are frequenting these events. That's what I was thinking, because I am a patron. So it's just a tent. And when I see these people, it's one of those things. It's like buying a super fancy car that doesn't have any practical use. You're not getting anything beneficial out of it, but the status that it gives you is legit. And that is just how it works. If you have that section, that table, people in the club, there's no way around that. I don't look at it as a negative or positive.
It can seem, and that you're doing it to impress kind of transaction. If you're doing it to show your friends a good time, so that's a noble.
And there's a level of it, right? Sometimes you're paying $30,000, but other venues, like like the biggest table that they're going to get there on average, that table is going to. If you're with a group of 12, planning on spending money on buying drinks at the bar, the drinks are going to run you on average $22 a drink. So if you're going to be buying 3 or 4 drinks a person, you might as well just do 100 each and get the table. Then
You
you
can
have
sit
to
down.
You can sit down. You have more drinks. You have a section. There are situations when buying a table is financially beneficial, but in the main clubs, the cheapest table is $1,000. That's in the back. You can't even see the stage. And you're going to be able to see 4 people. And so it's like at those clubs, it is a status. But there are places where, if you have a group and you're going to buy drinks anyways, you might as well get them all. Because you guys are all going to be spending money anyways. You're going to spend a little bit extra to get the experience. And I will say, the experience of having a section and doing those things is cool. It is a fun feeling, being able to look around the club and you're on a raised surface looking down on the audience. And regardless of the reasoning that you've got that table, it is a fun feeling to feel like you're on top of the action. So regardless, it's not something that I'm trying to push people away from. It's just be aware of the reason that you're spending. And
Right.
what it is to have that status. It's a cool thing. If you're coming to Vegas for an experience, and I think that it's a great idea. You should do it 100%. For us locals, it's different because we're looking at save money, go out and use. That's where the best is. Yes.
You live like that every weekend. So you're doing it 1 week a year, that's fine. Vegas is home to many because of its proximity to Burning Man and the exodus from California. Burning Man has an ethos against the idea of a cheap, non-fault status. Burning Man is full of status. Where you are on the playa is a whole status. What you bring, who your friends are, unfortunately, it's going more that direction. But they're trying to fight. And it's the same with a lot of transformation festivals that don't have VIP. Any Insomniac event is basically Vegas festival. Vegas has taken a different approach. Personally, I enjoy words that are more egalitarian. We treat each other equal. I won't knock what Vegas is doing because that is the majority of the nightlife. And this capitalistic approach, they're able to bring the biggest acts and make the biggest acts come here 20 times a year.
Yeah.
And play.
And
there's always something to do in Vegas. So they've embraced that. We're not going to pretend everyone's the same. But we're going to make it based on who is contributing to the party. Very organized.
If they were letting everybody in free, the clubs would fill out. There has to be some sort of setting apart the people, like you said, that are willing to contribute more to the club, that are willing to spend the money to be treated better than the people that are just there to attend.
I like to attend festivals. Look at Instagram channels and news that follows festivals. Look for the events that lose money consistently every year. I promise you that would be the best experience. Because you're winning. Someone with a lot of money wanted to flex and throw a party. And this party is so good that maybe they shouldn't have given sushi. Now, the festivals that are super profitable, some people love it.
Experience.
I'm like, this is the cattle getting like herded.
But like anything, if you're prioritizing profit over experience, find a festival that's willing to prioritize the experience over making super amounts of money, then it's just going to bring better amount. It's going to bring a better experience overall. And that goes for anything. Some clubs care about money, a lot of the major ones. But there are other clubs that do very well for themselves because they cater to the local clientele and reasonable prices. And all those things. There's different ways that you can go about it.
And not to knock the festivals that are very they have managed to stick around. The hot festivals can't say that, but at least there is a thing to do every May. At least there is something to go. You know, even the haters are like, oh, they're still gonna go. It's still there.
Well, I think festival being too good. there has to be balance where it's able to be a repeatable thing that you can do over and over again, while also making enough money to that realistic. A lot of us nowadays have started moving towards more profit-based. Just that it's unfortunate. It's part of the
A lot of it's the cost of throwing a party, expectations of the party. If you look at parties in the 90s, it was like a projector and a couple of speakers and a bunch of solo cups. But now there has to be fireworks and the 3-story stage.
it's still pretty high.
Yeah, and liability and lawyers of undoubtedly half the cost.
There's so many different sides just that go into nightlife. Not just nightlife, but like you're saying, festivals, parties, whatever aspect you want to take. There's 1,000 moving parts to all of these clubs. That's something that I learned moving out here was that the amount of employees of these clubs have to make them run smoothly. You're standing in a line, and one security guard's checking your ID, another security guard's checking your guest list, another security guard's going to stamp you, another security guard's going to check through your social security. There's so many different. That's just security for entrance.
They're dealing with drunk people
At high capacities. To make any of it work, we're talking about the Playhouse. Make anything like that work, it has to be profitable. You have to be making money somehow, especially nowadays with the legalities of it, like you were saying. But like anything, there is a healthy middle ground where you can still prioritize experience. I think EDC does a good job. The experience that EDC brings is unique. You're not going to find a lot of festivals like that. At the same time, you are spending $800 on a ticket, and every student got charged $2. Honors,
They're in a small area. It's also a convenience thing.
yeah, I'm sure. For a lot of these festivals, it's a rare thing.
For me, I have an RV. Going somewhere else is the point.
You go to a
Some-
festival and then come home at night,
Or like a hotel?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I'd like to think that festivals are starting to move in a better direction. I feel like every year they bring out things new acts and finally also keeping it reasonably affordable masses. It's just a challenge.
I think they're going to need to cut a lot of them down. Look at Burning Man. They cut the size down. You know what? That's fine.
It's not
We don't need a big, because the whole point is the community coming together. It's the elaborate displays about the community bonding. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on. Is that earlier we were talking about how like Vegas find it to be a friend desert. Many acquaintanceships, but not many friendships. This has always been a tough town. The transactional nature of relationships goes back to the days of people working on madams would rent houses, and it was a bunch of minors.
Yeah.
And it was until they went back to the eastern states and back to their families. That's where it kind of originated.
It's thriving here. I came here from LA and I saw it even worse in LA. But I would say out here, especially because there is a specific type of person that decides to reside in Las Vegas. A lot of them have similar energies among themselves. But a lot of the people here, interactions you have are very transactional. Concern. The only reason I personally feel like a lot of people, every conversation they have, they're also doing the math on how it's going to benefit, right? And so like, they're not interested in having conversations with people just for the sake of conversation. It's all about how can this person benefit me, or how.
Or is this person going to subtract from me? There's
Exactly.
the defensive side of it too, versus, which I think happens more in cities. There's more asking you for change or something. Or, there's, whereas like, when I go to a rural place, people just trust each other. Their lives are slower. They have time to sit and have a beer and talk. Being from the city, I don't really want to sit down and beer and talk.
I got
There's
things to do.
the biggest
Never sense.
but I do sense that the friendships I have from the East Coast feels like they're on a different level. It feels like it took years to get there. It's granted I've spent years there, but and I think nothing wrong with hanging out. If that crowd makes you feel good, you're enjoying it. You're not like getting really drunk and hurting
Messing up
yourself.
your
And
life.
people are a lot here to have a good time, but they're not. They're how deep that connection goes is questionable.
I have been fortunate to make some meaningful connections. I found a small group that I feel like genuinely just, like I was telling you earlier, I think a lot of the people that I have met out here already, I would call before I would call people from earlier in my life. But also, it's a very small, I've met hundreds of people in the short time I've been here, and a lot of them I would consider acquaintances or friends, but a very small to actually close, what I would call family. And so it is hard to find out here. But like you were saying, it's hard to find anywhere. It comes down to right place.
People don't really want to dig down because it hurts to realize that for everyone, there are people considered friends, but you don't acknowledge that. So you try to, and that goes for everyone, whether you have more or fewer friends. That's just the case in the modern world we live in. There's something called a single serving friend. You're on a trip to Paris. Your friends couldn't make it. So you're there and you meet a really cool dude at the hotel bar. But there's a time and a stage in life where that's still considered socially accepted. As you get older, you're expected to like not do things like that as much.
For sure.
You can spend time more only with long connections. At a certain point, you don't know who's going to be a friend tomorrow, who you're going to meet.
Yeah, you never know where a small interaction is going to take you. Meeting somebody in very casual, passing circumstance, major, and one of your best friends in your life. So I think leaving yourself open to that opportunity is important, but also being aware of not wasting time. As you get older, there is a sense of pressure, and we were just talking about it in a different aspect. But is this conversation benefit? Is this really worth my time? Am I going to see any benefit from spending my time here doing this thing? And that can come down to conversation, or actually, physically doing things with people. But you have to keep that mindset to an extent.
Every friendship starts as a stranger, but you don't want to be filterless, staying out with anybody, because you're expected to get more selective. It's tough for people who move around a lot. You're not in the same city. I've moved 5 times.
Yeah, to form genuine connections when you bounce around is definitely a challenge.
Yeah, that are also in the same physical location. Because if you move now,
There's so much.
it's crazy when you actually stop. For us, it's probably different because we go out. Most people, we go out more than most people. I go out mostly sober.
Yeah,
Just to be
socializing, something to do.
Most people now, especially Gen Z, don't really do that. If you count someone under, how many people have you hung out with in person in the past month? I haven't seen my dad in 6 months. I call him all the time, so it feels like he's right there. But
After COVID hit and everything, I think a lot of people kind of lean into their tendencies to be alone. And the people who aren't necessarily very sociable to begin with, COVID trained you to get very comfortable being inside, being by themselves. The double-edged sword. It's cool that today's day allows people to do that. It's what they choose to do, but it is unfortunate, like you said, to see a lot of these Gen Zs not taking advantage of life to the extent that they could, because they just don't leave their house. Become so content being at home with themselves that they don't want to spend time around experience life. Personally, I think that's like one of the most important things that you can do. Is to learn to experience new things, meet new people. What you like, and a lot of this new generation terrified.
it's crazy. My grandmother was a child. She said her parents would yell at her. She said, "Stop reading those books. Go play outside." And then it was get off the computer. Go do something else. Now they should be on the computer. It's funny seeing it's going to be like, go out to the nightclub. All your friends are over at Zoom. Instead, you're here on TikTok all day. What used to be considered like going out all the time. Humans have more free time than they used to have. For sure. You know, as long as you're not destroying your body, it's just more safe.
Yeah, it's a balance. Enjoying life, having fun is my biggest priority. With whatever I'm doing, I'm asking myself, how is this affecting me? I enjoy going out, not just for getting fucked up. I can go out sober and enjoy my time. I enjoy socializing. I enjoy being with the people that I'm out with. I enjoy the music, and there are other reasons that I can enjoy going out and doing that. Traditionally, it's been you're fucking up your body or your unhealthy habits. Don't get me wrong; it's easy for those things to come with it, but I think to put the blame of that on partying it's not partying. Right. It's not. It's the balance. It's partying and not having self-discipline to still get things done. That's when it becomes an issue. If you're able to go out and party, drink, or do other things, and still wake up for work the next day, go to the gym, and eat healthy, and do all the things that you need to do to make sure that you're staying on top of all your stuff, then I don't think there's any issue. You should be supporting.
There's like a late night society. And there's not that many things open. People with ADHD tend to be night owls. If the brains wake up at 11, and
they'd never want to turn.
Maybe the clock. There's a lull in the afternoon. You get sleepy, but nighttime, in the morning, it's just not the time. People are like, oh, go play pickleball. There's a pickleball meet at 9 a.m. It's just not catch. I'm forced to have a business, so I can sleep in bed. But it's just becoming more like that. Even people that have jobs online are starting at 10. That was one of the biggest things for me moving in my life. I've always been all to that. Jobs where I had to wake up the crack of dawn, go to a shop, for me, it's also the motivation of what I'm doing to wake up. If I'm waking up every day to do the same thing, I feel terrible. I don't want to get up. But if I'm waking up at 6 and go snowboarding, I'll jump out of bed. I'll feel great, no matter how much I also believe that there's a big factor that plays in where the
motivating to why you're getting out of bed is going to determine how easy it is. If getting out of bed to do something you don't want to do, it's going to challenge every time.
I think it's easier with practice too. I can take 5 a.m. flights because I just know when the alarm goes off, I've missed enough flights that it is not. If I have to wake up for something I don't want to do, it is harder.
Just dreading.
I really experimented with the all-night thing last summer because it's 23 degrees every day.
Doesn't
I had construction work to do, so I said, we're going to do this at night. I told everyone, everyone's going to show up at night. I don't want you flocking during the day. We came in bed, and I'm going to sleep all day. Wake up and be up all night. Because that's really the only way to talk. And it worked out amazing. It was amazing, because once I got in the flow of it, yeah, I'm talking to friends on video call in Japan, and it's like their day, I'm wide awake. It worked out really well during those hours. And then I was going to the afters, like totally awake. Now, at the wintertime, I go to the afters, and I'm like, it's too o'clock. I'm getting tired. But in the summertime, it actually makes sense. It's not unhealthy if you do it perpetually and sleep during the day.
But it doesn't matter what hours you sleep, as long as you get sleep. That is another thing that I think Vegas offers that's really cool. Is I grew up in a very small town, and there was still night shifts. There's jobs that people have to work where they're working the 11 to 7 a.m. shift. And in a small town I'm from, if you're working that shift, you're by yourself. No one else is on that shift. You're going to sleep when everyone else is getting up and going to their work. So developing friends and having any social circle, if you work the night shift, is impossible. But in Vegas, there's an entire side of the city that only works tonight. So it's not like you're by yourself. You drive the freeways at 4 in the morning here, and there's traffic. There's people out at all times of the night. If that is the lifestyle of the Las Vegas caters to that, I can stay up late and sleep in. I can have a job that caters to that schedule as well. And I have a bunch of friends that also operate on the same schedule. So it's just kind of,
Where can people find you if they want to go out and have a good time and they want to...
I can get you into anywhere in Las Vegas. If it's not something I'm directly getting paid for, then I directly have a contract for. I know somebody else who's going to be able to get them in. Social media is the best way to find me. My ad's Evan.Lebo, Leboo. But yeah, the only thing that I do warn people up is Fremont Street. That's anything on the strip, you're going to be able to get guest lists for all that stuff. Clubs and bars on Fremont Street do not offer guest lists.
East Fremont? They're doing the flyer with the half-off drink.
But still charging $10, $15 entry. So like bar hopping on Fremont could be a challenge because you're paying for entry every single bars. There's not a lot of easy ways to get access to those locations. But with that being said, those are the smaller bars. Those are the smaller tips. If you want anything like a big headliner, or you want the Still Vegas experience, it's not going to be on something like that.
Usually not. I mean, just because you have some music scene.
Yeah,
DMs.
exactly. Yeah. So if you have a specific taste, Fremont can be good. But typically, if you want the biggest experience, it's going to be on the strip. Strip, I really cater at after hours. Dre's after hours, Terrace after hours, Eagle after hours.
It's got something at the hip.
The new one, there's not a name.
Desert Heart to put on the first one. I thought it was going to go like the Desert Fence.
They're having people host, but haven't released a name. I will be signing on for that one once it gets all set up. But right now, they're still building it. That's going to be a really cool venue when it is all said and done, because I know that the owners of that bought that venue space is the same people that did Live. And Live is one of the best nightclubs out here. If you've been in Miami, they have Live. I know that anything people that run that do is good. Another good opportunity one is Bauhaus. That's a new venue downtown. It's the same thing, after hours venue, but it's not, they have 1,200 match capacity, visual illusions, they have beers that are double-sided, and a bunch of cool shit. So that's going to be something really cool coming up. But as far as venues that I promote for, after hours venues, then I have AU for like day club in the summertime, Ghost Bar, Jason Aldean's. Those are going to be the main ones. Like I said, we can get you. The promoters out here, we always know somebody who's going to get you wherever you want to go. If you're downtown, it might be harder, but typically if you're coming to Vegas, those aren't the bars that you're coming.
Stop paying cover on the strip and call Evan. Thanks for watching, guys. Found it informative, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.